Hey guys, it's Jenny with Becoming Homesteaders. Today I will be canning up some beautiful apple butter. These are a variety of apples that I will be using, and I'm excited to have this on my pantry shelf. It's a super easy recipe, so if you're a new canner, this is an easy one to get started with, so I hope you'll give it a try. I hope you enjoy our video. Give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Okay, these are the apples we're going to use for the apple butter. We have Granny Smith in here, some Fuji in here, we have Golden Delicious, and we have Cortland. It's best if you mix up your apple variety when making applesauce or apple butter. Just gives the applesauce more of a depth and flavor. So we're going to get started on the apple butter today, and I'm just going to use my crock pot, so stay tuned. These are some apples that we picked in Central Ohio. If you didn't see that video, it is Camping with a Purpose Apple Edition, where we went to an apple orchard and picked apples. We also visited another apple orchard, did not pick apples there, but we did purchase a bag of miscellaneous apples. That's where we get the Cortland and the Golden Delicious. We did not pick those. So you're just wanting to peel your apples, core them, and slice them. They don't have to be thin. They can be thick, however you want to do it. The thinner, the faster they're going to cook down. You could also get one of those really great apple corers, peelers, slicers. I don't have one of those. I just do it by hand. Either one works out fine. I will also link the recipe for this apple butter and all of the instructions that go along below. If you're interested, you can print it out. But yeah, it will give you detailed directions on how to do it. Not that it's hard, because it really is a very simple recipe. Okay, during my apple butter making, I realized I am out of cinnamon. So we made a run to our local spice bulk foods place. It is called Yoder's Bulk Foods. I believe it is Mennonite owned, but I'm not real sure. But they have the best bulked spices. So I've got some cinnamon, we got some cocoa powder, some onion powder, garlic, some sprinkles. I'll be doing some Christmas cookies, some whole peppercorns, and some of the butter from Walnut Creek. All right, so we have all of our apples in the crock pot. They're ready to cook down. We'll probably cook those, I'm guessing, about 24 hours to get that real dark apple butter color. Right now, we just got back from buying the cinnamon. I realized I didn't have any cinnamon, so we bought our bulk spices, and now I have all my spices that I need, and I'm going to go ahead and add them to my apples. So we have them in the crock pot, and I'm just going to add 1 cup of my homemade brown sugar, which, if you've never made your own brown sugar, it's so easy and it smells so good. So 1 cup of brown sugar, and then 1 cup of cane sugar to this. And this is cane sugar that I have bought from Azure Standard. I usually buy from them in bulk, which I'm due to replenish my supplies here pretty soon. We're gonna do 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, and this is the cinnamon that we bought from the bulk store. Best place to buy spices. You know how expensive spices are, so if you can't order them from Azure Standard, this is the next best thing. So that was a tablespoon of cinnamon, and then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, there's 1 teaspoon. So half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And if you don't like these spices, just do the brown sugar, the cane sugar, and the cinnamon, and leave the spices out. We like a little bit of the spice, so we're gonna add this. And then we have ground cloves. We're gonna do 1/8 of a teaspoon. The recipe calls for 1/4, but I don't like it super spicy, so I just do like 1/8 of a teaspoon of the ground cloves. So if you like it spicy, go ahead and keep that 1/4 teaspoon. So, and I just guess on that one, I don't have 1/8 measuring. But we're going to then mix all of that beautifulness up, let that cook down for about 24 hours, like I said. Then I will bring you back and we'll give it a good stir, and we will add the last ingredient. Okay guys, I don't know if you can see that, but this is, let's see, what time is it? It is 7. So this is 7 hours into cooking. And I don't know that I'm gonna need to do it the full 24 hours because that's looking beautiful right now. It smells amazing in my house. So I will update you on the time. I also think that maybe my crock pot is needing to be replaced. So it is set on low, but I don't think it cooks on a low temperature. So this is probably more of a medium or medium high even. So I may need a new crock pot. Christmas is right around the corner though, so that's good. Good morning, and today is day 2. I'm bringing you back for the apple butter making, and I did not let this go for the 24 hours, but I don't think my crock pot's working right, so I was afraid to let it go overnight. So it was about 10 hours yesterday, and then it's been on for about 2 hours this morning. I'm getting ready to add maple syrup. So this is our homemade maple syrup that we made last year. We tapped some sugar maples and preserved our maple syrup. So we're gonna be using this, and I'm gonna start with half a cup at first. You can kind of see the consistency before I add the maple syrup to it. It's a nice dark brown color. I will eventually use my immersion blender too to make this nice and smooth, but it has cooked down quite a bit. It's nice and thick. It smells good. So I'm gonna add my half a cup of the maple syrup, let it continue cooking for a little longer, and then I'll bring you back. All right, so I added that half a cup of our homemade maple syrup and let it cook for a little bit longer. Decided after a taste test that I wanted to add another half a cup of maple syrup. So it was in total 1 cup that I added to this. And I feel like the crock pot was really filled full with apples. So maybe that's why I needed a little more, but it has a really great flavor. The consistency is good. So I'm just using my immersion blender to make it nice and smooth. You want that nice consistency. This is a great immersion blender too. If you guys are needing one, I got it from Kohl's. It is I believe it's a Hamilton Beach immersion blender, but I'll link that below too if you're interested. And then, yeah, this is just going to cook down for a little bit longer. I don't think it's quite thick enough. So it, I think, has probably a few more hours to go, but we'll bring you back and keep you updated on its progress. But it looks beautiful and it tastes really good. All right, here is an apple butter update. It looks so good, smells so good. It's nice and dark and thick. It has been cooking for right around 19 hours. And I think I might let it go maybe just a little bit longer just to see if it will thicken up just a little bit more. It is probably okay, but I might want the consistency just to be a little bit thicker. We'll see. But yeah, it looks great. So we're excited to have this on the pantry shelf. All right, so the apple butter has been in the crock pot for right around 21 hours. I cooked it for 10 hours yesterday, and then probably overall today at least 11 hours. And it is beautiful. Smells good, tastes good, is a great consistency. So we're gonna go ahead and can it up. So I'm going to ladle it into these half-pint jelly jars. And then we will process this in a water bath canner for 20 minutes. These jars are nice and hot too. Nice and thick. Gosh, this looks really, really good. And with all of those different varieties of apples that I used, I'm super pleased. This apple butter turned out beautiful. It was nice and thick, so we did not want to waste any. So we're making sure to scrape the bottom of this crock pot and get all of that goodness out into these jars. And gosh, how easy is that? You throw it in the crock pot, you give it a few stirs, add some spices, and you have instant apple butter. This recipe couldn't be easier, and I love the fact that you can put it in there, go do something different, and then come back every now and then and check on it. So we definitely ended up with more apple butter than I thought I would with this one big crock pot. It was pretty full at the beginning though with sliced apples. So there's right around 10 of those little half-pint jelly jars. And here I just have my distilled vinegar and a paper towel. I'm wiping down the edges, making sure that none of that sticky apple butter residue is left on any of the sides or the top that would prevent a good seal. And as I'm doing this, I'm checking to make sure there are no nicks or anything in the tops of the jars. That would be terrible to lose a jar in the canning process. So yeah, just wipe them down real good. Center your lids on and then add your bands. Lids on, fingertip tight, or rings rather. Those jars are hot. And one more ring. Oh, shoot. Okay, gets a red one. Gosh, it's hot. All right, apple butter is all in the canner. I had my pressure canner out canning the apple cider this evening, so the water was already hot. I thought I would just go ahead and use this canner for the apple butter. So we ended up with, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Nice. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah. Nice half pints of apple butter. Yay. Thanks so much for hanging out with me again today in my kitchen making this beautiful apple butter. I'm very pleased with the taste and super excited to have this on our pantry shelf. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Becoming Homesteaders. And be sure and stay tuned for our upcoming videos, the apple cider making video and the apple pie filling making video, as well as the apple cranberry juice. So again, thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll see you in the next video.